I came here to discuss a piece of business with you, and what are you going to do? You going to tell me a fairy tale? Welcome back to Should You Watch This with the Popcorn Priest, a weekly podcast where movie enthusiasts, current and ex-movie theater projectionists, new and old friends, take the time to talk about a movie that we just watched and answer that very question, should or shouldn't you watch this? Cheat him, and he'll blow you away. Let's jump back into our review of Thief from 1981. And if you haven't listened to part one,
do it.
Head on over there and listen, and then come back and join us.
What the hell do you think that I do? I wear $800 suits. I wear a gold watch. I'm a thief.
You want to put down contract scores all over the country, working directly for me?
I am self-employed.
I'll make you a millionaire in 4 months. So what do you say, Frank?
They gotta be big scores, they gotta be fast. 1, 2, tops.
You don't know from one day
right?
to the next whether you're going to be killed, go home, or get busted.
Look, I have run out of time. So I'm just asking you to be with me. Got a problem?
I go to work for you, I'm pulling a lot of exposure.
Are they in the walls? I mean, can they hear everything you say all the time?
Look, we your new partners. We in for 10 points.
Our in goes with the territory. They don't run me, and you don't run me. I want my end, and I am out.
You don't want to work for me? What's wrong with you?
You do what I say. I run you. I want you work until you are burned out, you are busted, or you're dead.
Oh, you're dead.
Oh, good. You didn't get the other horrendous things he said in there.
Yeah, well, this is not a Red Band trailer, so... Such a sick trailer.
So sick. I want to go do crimes right now.
Let me tell you something, pendejo.
All right, this is Popcorn Trivia. After The Godfather in 1972, this is James Caan's favorite film of his own. He has stated that his monologue in the diner is the scene of which he is most proud of in his career.
Which is one of the more interesting movie conversations I've heard in a while. It goes to some interesting places. It definitely makes the character come off as strange.
Yeah, it does. It was an interesting, going from being late to his first date, picking up this lady, and then forcing her into the car.
Yeah, and then giving her a very interesting window, let's say, into the type of eccentric person he is.
While he's driving, we heard it in the trailer. Yeah. While he's driving there, he's yelling at her. And then they get to the diner, and then they have this long conversation.
Yeah. Well, technically, it's his employee because he owns the bar where she works at up until he kidnaps her to the diner.
That's right.
But it's more just to kind of establish his background because he talks about what happens to him when he's cornered in prison. But then towards the end of the movie, it's when he's cornered by the mob and then decides to go out his way or do things his way rather than waiting for it to come. I like the type of professional criminals who don't wear fancy things. Because then it's like
3.2 carat ring.
Then it really is. The action is the juice, man. He's only doing it for the thrill. Yeah, but he's like, no, man, I want to live life.
He's doing it for that black market child.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. I liked that scene, and I really liked. I don't like the subject matter of the story that he tells, but I love the story, how he tells it, and how he gets you.
Oh, like his background of when he was in prison.
Yeah, I really like that.
And how he became the kind of
Is that where the scar came from? Did he say?
I don't know if that's real or not, because I'd have to look at his face.
Yeah, you look up another picture of James Caan.
See if that's really his scar.
It seemed...
Well, no, I just mean if he explained it like in that story.
No,
it's
not mentioned. It's not mentioned. I mean, you could assume that he could have gotten it there.
Someone tried to cut him.
Yeah, I don't know. A couple of casting what-ifs. Al Pacino turned down the role of Frank due to scheduling conflicts.
Yep, that's the type of movie he would have been in. Yep, that makes sense.
Gene Hackman and Roy Schneider were considered for their leading role.
That's interesting.
I mean, it seems
Hackman would
Gene
have been a bad
Hackman
choice.
seems more like the guy you would have as the main villain, the crime lord guy.
Yeah.
That seems more like a Gene Hackman role. Gene Hackman trying to be like serious and fierce seems like he'd just be.
I mean, he can
pissy.
do that, but like it's not.
I feel
the
like Gene Hackman can do it more than Roy Schneider could.
Yeah, Roy
Schneider
Schneider
would have been a
seems-
terrible
That's an
choice.
absurd. That's not real.
Yeah, that's not a good.
Roy
cast.
Schneider would have been a good.
That's
like,
after Spielberg ruined movies, right? With
Oh,
Jaws.
shut. Roy Schneider would have been good as one of the dirty cops, though. The main cop. I think he could have been like. He's taller. He would have been like a good, intimidating, kind of like quiet, but like forceful, as opposed to Urizzi or whoever they chose. That's just kind of this angry Italian screaming at him all the time.
Yeah. Well, I only have 2 more trivia points. The Green Mile is a jazz club and cocktail lounge in uptown Chicago at Lawrence and Broadway. It was a favorite hangout for Al Capone and his henchmen. There are several historic items on the walls and a particular booth that Capone preferred because it allows a clear view of the front and rear doors, thus making it difficult for anyone to sneak up on him and his associates while they were doing business.
I noticed that when he goes to the guy's office in the beginning, he grabs the chair and moves it to the side of the desk so he can see the guy behind it and who's going to come walking in through the door.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Positions himself so his back's not to anything.
Yeah, it's like
I thought
you see him pull out the gun before he goes in, so you know that he's being serious.
He's going to get angry.
He's probably going to draw that thing. Yeah.
You know why I thought he did it? To show dominance.
Oh, really?
Because he was like trying to get close to him.
No.
Like, I'm not going to sit where you want me to sit. I'm going to sit over here in the corner.
That could be a small
No,
part
I
of
think
it,
it
though,
was
too.
so he could have a look because the door.
Yeah, it's for sure.
Well, it's prison. I mean, you don't want to have your back to anything. His prisoner instincts.
It's for sure what you said.
But I think it also showed dominance.
Yes.
That's what got Woody Harrelson in No Country. Turned his back on Anton Chigurh. Just walked sideways the whole time.
100% that I was like, yep. He
ambushes him in the hotel.
Hello, Garson.
Yeah. Woody's like, shit, now I'm dead.
This film was based on the Hole in the Wall gang run by Mafia Don Anthony Giuseppe.
Giuseppe?
Just
You're going to have to edit that out, man.
no, it's it's Gas Pipe. Anthony. I was
Gaspipi.
Gaspipi. I was thinking, it's an Italian name, but no, it's Gas Pipe Casso. Don Anthony Gas Pipe.
You're going to need to look that up. There's no way it's gas pipe.
It's gas pipe.
Oh, is it like in quotations?
It's in quotations.
It's a nickname. That's what I was going to say. Why do they call him the gas pipe?
And I was thinking...
It's Gaspipi.
It's Gaspipi. Yeah.
Reading everyday words is Italian.
That's
Esclame.
what I thought. Well, any other things that you want to talk about with the movie before we get into
like
beefs and puzzles?
Is like
puzzles.
Trivia? I don't know.
Anything you liked about the movie. Actually, no, we're going to talk about that in Popcorn Redemption. So
it's an endorsement of crime. It encourages you to do crime.
Wear a bulletproof vest if you're angry at your mob boss.
Yes, I liked that. It was awesome. I have a trivia point about the bulletproof vest. Let's get into beefs.
Where's the beef? Hey, where's the beef?
So I have 4 beefs with this film.
4?
That's a lot of meat.
And this is
you've got a quad, Wendy.
This is
practically a full
This
cow.
is beefs based on the fact that I had never seen this, but I came up with these beefs prior to watching the movie.
I identified this spoiled meat.
That's the wrong way to watch a movie.
The film's original title was Violent Streets.
That's a terrible name.
Yeah, that's a beef. That's exactly what I'm like. They should not have.
The Home Invaders name of the book is...
That's a horrible name as well.
It's like, what's going on there? Yeah, no, Thief is great.
Thief is great.
That's all you need, man.
Or Invader.
What else are you doing?
I don't know. Invader's horrible as well for this type of movie.
Well, but he's sneaking into everywhere. I mean, everywhere he goes.
He doesn't go into a single... He goes into one home. He invades one home.
But he also invades several locations to steal diamonds.
Yeah, okay, never mind, actually. Home Invaders works.
So
or a heist, I guess, in a sense.
Here's my other... Okay, I misspoke. I have 3 beefs. Only 3.
That's not a full cow anymore.
Well, I guess the last beef is
that's only 3 of the 4 stomachs.
Is a beef extension. So evidently James Caan didn't know he was doing this commentary on the Blu-ray until the night before.
Oh, awesome.
Michael Mann called him up late at night asking Caan what he was doing in the morning and said that they were recording the commentary for the movie. This is his response. Michael, don't ever call me again, says Caan. He also mentions Mann was currently working on the film Heat, with Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, and that he should have called one of those guys to do it. What a turd!
So is there some bad blood there? Or what?
No, I just think he's like.
I think he was just pissed. He didn't have time to actually.
I don't want to
prepare.
do this. No, no, I just think he didn't want to do it.
Or that he didn't care.
And speaking of the commentary, when the title for the music "Tangerine Dream" comes up, James Caan proclaims, "Oh, you and Tangerine Dream. Oh boy, headache." James Caan clearly not a fan of the Virgin years. And this is my last beef. My stock on James Caan is dipping based on his comments to Michael Mann.
On his hairline receding in the movie.
Well, no, it's just, dude, why do you got to be such a dick?
Have you heard any of the stories about like Jamie Foxx on like Miami Vice?
I heard
him
that
being
he like
a real prima donna and
because of what was the movie he just won an Oscar for right before he went into Miami Vice?
Ray?
No, yeah, it was Ray.
Yeah, it was Ray.
Ray came out 2 years before.
Yeah, and he like quit. He basically quit.
That's why that movie's got a weird story, because they kind of had to like put it together in the edit.
Because he wanted as much screen time as Colin Farrell did.
There's a lot of fun little tidbits there, but anyway.
We for sure need to do a Miami Vice pod. Like why we haven't is beyond me, but
it makes sense now. Now I didn't even think about that because Fox has like no backstory or like information. It's all about Farrell and
I know it's
the
like
Chinese
the focus is highly on
on his relationship. You don't even see anything. I didn't even think about that until now. Wow, that's interesting.
Any beefs you guys have with the movie?
Anything we kind of talked about is like that. It's kind of, especially early on, it seems like he's taking shortcuts to set things up. Let's say
it's not
like the relationship with
it's really
the woman.
Okay,
it seems very awkward.
I like
it's kind of like he put together a heist movie, but then he's trying to fill out 2 hours with these side plots.
He needed to make like human motivations because like, and that's the thing with like Heat is 3 hours long and does it better.
Well,
but it has the time to do it.
There's way more. Because Heat's way more conversation wise and like that character.
There's a lot more characters in that too.
Whereas Thief is mainly just
this
about
is more of a smaller scale. Yeah, crime.
I can't see Michael Mann making another.
So I mean, I don't
where he'd
blame him. I'm just saying that stood out to me that he has done this better in like
after his first film.
Yeah, as we say, like
I still think the stolen baby from the hospital is a weird touch that.
Wasn't stolen. It was bought.
It was bought.
Well,
it was a black
and it was rented to James Caan, as the primary antagonist informs him.
Dude, speaking, I agree with you what you guys are saying about how like it's just chopped up. These pieces are inserted, but the pieces when you're seeing the piece itself, it's very awesome. But like putting it together is kind of crazy, right?
Well, it's because Heat, you get like he's better at laying breadcrumbs because you get like little pieces of information as you go. Whereas Thief, I think he relied a lot on that conversation initially between her and his girlfriend to kind of set everything up, and then afterwards it's more of just seeing his reaction to things because he doesn't really elaborate anymore. Like after that point, it's just this is I want my money. Like he puts his foot down and he just kind of acts stubborn the rest of the film. Yeah. And you don't really get more explanation into it. It kind of seems strange that he goes from this crazy backstory to just all of a sudden wanting this random family, like no matter the cost, and then decides that this is what he wants to do out of the blue all of a sudden. So he's going to do 1 to 2 jobs, and then all of a sudden...
That's what he learned in prison. He went in this. But that's the thing, is like all of that information is in that like 10-minute
speech
like thing where he goes on the date and talks to her about his backstory and stuff.
The thief diner scene, as it were.
Like that kind of sets up the whole movie. Now, it's not the most elegant way to do it. I don't know how I would have done it. I just said it's got some rough edges.
It reminds me of...
It's like a medium beef, though.
Yeah,
it's not too bad.
It's just... It kind of... You watch Thief and then you watch Heat and then you just kind of... You can really see the progression between the two.
It's hard to watch this like after having seen Heat and not draw comparisons because they are so very similar.
I agree.
They take place in the same world and they have the same tone.
Well, I mean, it's like Black Hat, but he should have chosen a different topic other than hacking.
The Black Hat's an interesting one because it's like parts of it work and parts of it don't.
I want to watch Black Hat.
You should watch Black Hat.
It's literally like two different movies spliced together in the editing room.
Parts
really
of it
strange.
work. Like he was on to something there, but it did so poorly that we're not gonna. Yeah. So anyway,
it's like Miami Vice with less of a backstory.
Parts of it work. It's like the reception that got seeing it after that, I was like, oh, this is okay, but you're wrong. They should still watch this.
Well, you heard it here first. Black Cat. Parts of it work.
Parts of it work, man. That's all I can say.
I just want to come up with another movie.
It's almost there.
Let's get into popcorn puzzles.
A sphincter says what?
We have puzzles.
What? A sphincter says what?
I have puzzles.
What about the movie?
Exactly.
We're going to do a 1,000-piece puzzle?
No, not that kind of a puzzle. Come on, man. Puzzle like you were wondering about it.
Ponderments.
James Caan made sure to speak slowly and clearly and tried to avoid using contractions in his words. He decided that Frank would do this so he would save time by never having to repeat himself.
Wasting time.
Like, good job, James, for coming up with that cool thing. Your backstory of not using contractions. I don't know.
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't either, and that's why I was like, I read that, and I was like, cool.
But I mean, good on him for enunciating clearly. I didn't mishear him, so it worked for me.
I don't know.
That's Robert De Niro.
Puzzling.
Well, Robert De Niro, they have him. He kind of does the same thing in Heat. And now that I think about it, he loud and forceful, but he speaks clearly, so he doesn't have to say it again.
Yeah, but I bet he didn't care if he used it a contraction or not.
No, I know. It's just interesting, what each actor kind of would bring to a character role, even though it's really minor.
True. There's some debate between Michael Mann and James Caan as to what happens to Frank after he walks down the street at the end.
Oh, really?
Man, this is cool.
This will be interesting to hear.
And I don't want your guys' take, too.
This could, in theory, be a beef.
Is this a Blade Runner theory?
Well, maybe. Mann doesn't have an optimistic view on what happens to Frank, even going so far as to saying, where's he going? Nowhere. However, Caan thinks that a man with Frank's determination would get everything he lost back, no matter what.
No.
So the puzzle is who's right? Is any
James
of them
Caan
right?
is wrong. That's all I will say.
James Caan's wrong.
That was what you said. Dude.
Really?
What? You were the one who said, he's just going to go get his... No.
Yes, he is.
That's not the lesson. He learned the lesson that he already knew. He relearned it.
So in the movie, he's got dirty cops and the mob after him. So he takes out parts of the mob, but he's still got all these other officers that would be on the hunt for him. Because
he's going into hiding.
Because now they're going to lose their cut. He's going to be a marked man anywhere on that stage.
He's going to do more crimes to get more money.
I mean, I don't know that. Maybe that's what he does, man.
That's why this is why it belongs in popcorn puzzles.
But at the same time, they kind of give you a hint where when what's his name, the main villain,
the mob boss guy,
is talking to him in the factory, and he says, "You're either going to work for me until you're busted,
or die,
burnt out, or
dead." So I mean, it's going to be one of the three, basically. Most likely dead, because the cops are going to be looking for him at this point.
No, man, I think he just goes and he opens a little bar in some coastal resort town
in Zihuatanejo.
Just tells some people some stories,
Morgan Freeman style.
Yeah.
Would you like to build a boat with me and go to the ocean?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I said. Zihuatanejo.
Yeah, exactly. That's
that's where he's headed.
Because getting back is no. I feel like that's missing what the movie's saying about what his life of crime won't allow, because it seems like the whole thing is he don't get involved in anything you're not willing to walk out on.
So Noble Gas Tribe says man is 100% true.
Yeah,
right.
Where's he going? He has nothing anymore, but he knows that's what he's committed to.
I think he's going to try his best.
No,
but he's not going to get everything. He's not going to get everything.
He knows where they are. He's not going to go do that.
I don't know. That's why it's a puzzle.
I would think he would try and start over, but he's not going to last very long.
Why would he have destroyed everything he owned? He destroyed everything he owned.
That's true. Then why would Caan say that? That's
he's an actor.
Because
sorry, Michael. I know you're listening. So
because he's
Michael. I just said
Michael.
Michael.
No, James.
James. Sorry,
James. Michael.
Whatever. I don't ever trust actors. He's like, well, you were just pretending.
Unless you're Harrison Ford and you just flat out say it and ruin it,
or you just say you don't care. Which is I actually.
Why are you talking about me like that?
No, Decker was a robot. He's totally a replicant.
Probably.
Don't talk to me about.
I feel like it doesn't really matter.
That's my Harrison Ford.
Or the ambiguity is the point.
You sounded like Clint Eastwood talking to the chair.
I will say this ending is, I would argue, is a happy ending. A happier ending than I was expecting.
I loved the ending. It was amazing. It was great.
You just seemed like, when you were all stoked about it, it just seemed like somebody who'd seen the end of Heat, and you're like, oh, man. Why couldn't you have just been happy and everything worked out and his past never comes?
That's a good segue into Popcorn Redemption.
I have exorcised the demon.
So this category, I'll remind you, gentlemen, that this was born because of Macbeth and High Rise. Okay,
you pick a few bad movies over a span of a decade, and you never hear the end of it.
And I feel like sometimes we get a little negative.
Just for that, I'm going to choose the other Macbeth for my next movie, just to piss you off even more.
And I'm not saying that you can't pick those movies. I'm just saying that sometimes we leave on a negative, sour note. And I just want this category is built.
According to you, I had a great time.
This built for the time where we can say good things about the things we
very
watch.
Confused and having a headache at the end of High Life or whatever that was.
High Rise.
High Rise.
Yeah, we never did a pod about that, and I'm surprised.
It was amazing.
What was it even about? What was going on?
It was the rich versus the poor.
It was like a microcosm of British society.
And Jeremy Irons was like brewing the place up on the roof.
It's like, just leave, you guys. Like it didn't establish that
they don't have anywhere else to live.
Because like at least like within what was it, that Snowpiercer, which is kind of a similar thing.
It's
it was like super like it was super blatant about it. It was like, oh, why can't you leave? Because there's craziness and the world's all frozen. And
it's like Judge Dredd, but it's more modern times.
We don't want to get frozen in the tundra.
Yeah. Anyway,
I have two things that I really liked about the movie, other than I liked the movie, the whole movie. But in the hospital scene, James Caan decided to stare coldly at Jay Saunders, who played the doctor. This really frightened Saunders, and his reaction in the scene is genuine. I like that. I like stuff like that where...
I mean, I thought he was going to punch him or freak out, but he just kind of plays it cool and just
the doctor's
gives him a stone cold stare.
Because it was a really long, drawn out scene.
It was meant to, I think it was meant to be unsettling, like menacing, because, I don't know.
Yeah, I like that. And then this is a quote from James Caan. I think your name was clearly there more times than mine, meaning about the opening credits. And he said, and this is what Michael Mann says. Well, I worked harder than you did.
Well, what I'm saying.
Technically, it's true.
James Caan doesn't even know what the ending is. He's confused.
Yeah, he's confused
about that. So he's like, "Well, I mean, I just saw the script and I walk away." So
he reminds me of Russell Crowe in the '80s.
I just really like Michael Mann, and I like how crazy he is. And like
any disagreement between him and James Caan, you are going to side with Michael.
Yeah, I'm on Michael's. I'm Team Michael for sure. Now
I'm so pissed Jamie Foxx ruined Miami Vice. That pisses me off.
He didn't ruin it. In a way, you could say he made it better.
Well, not really.
Then he had to make it a movie about vibes.
It's incredibly ambiguous towards the end. It probably had a better result.
That has a great ending. That's a great ending.
It's another reason why we need to do a Miami Vice pod. But any other things you want to say about the film before we sign off?
It's good. I like it. It's good. It shows crime. It encourages you to do crime. Portrayal equals endorsement.
It's time to do
it also
some
portrays
crime.
why the Second Amendment is important because you never know who's going to come at you with a shotgun in your front yard.
Yeah. Well,
I can't give
someone else's front yard after having murdered other people.
Well, they had it coming.
I can't give this a golden bucket. I know I just played the soundbite, but I think this is a large bucket for me.
Yeah. I'm going to agree with that.
What stars do you give it, Noble Gas Tribe?
More than some stars, but not a billion trillion stars. It's good. The DNA of his later, greater films is there, and it's interesting in that respect. But yes, there's rough edges. He gets better as he goes.
I like that. What about you, Brain Rap Brains, since I always cut you off at the end?
I have to change my rating system, I think.
Is it, let me guess, 3.5, 3.5 out of 4?
I want to say 2.5 out of 4 because...
Oh, dang.
I mean, that sounds bad almost.
No, it's not bad.
That's a D.
That's low.
The plot is really good, but it's just all the side scenes, like the baby and just... kind of Khan's character.
Like that sick Tangerine Dream score soaring as he's on the beach.
It's like a roller coaster. Like it gets going, and then there's pauses where they try and build up a story, but it doesn't really explain anything. Like the only kind of bonding they show between
Yes.
Khan and Belushi is just running on the beach and tackling.
You didn't like Fat Belushi?
I would say
running?
Belushi is underdeveloped as a character in this. That's another thing that Heat does better.
All the background characters, they don't expand on it all. It's Khan and his girlfriend, and then just
because
their backstory.
Because if you look at it compared to like what the De Niro and what
Pacino,
De Niro and Val Kilmer.
Well, the whole crew
that's essentially the same relationship more or less. And it's a lot more fleshed out. But
or like Sizemore, they even kind of.
But again, he had more time, and I have to assume lots more money.
Well, it was supposed to be a TV series,
but
so you're giving it a
2.5 out of 4,
2.5 out of 4. Okay, 2.5.
As I say, and also it wraps itself up. Like it feels like forced.
It's like Drive without
like
cars.
what happens to like
the ending is amazing.
I know, but like
it's amazing.
The reason that he's like, okay, we're gonna like just go into conflict here. It's like too high-headed. It felt like well, this is only 2 hours long. We can't have this.
And that's the thing. It kind of feels like he wrote himself into a corner and then wasn't sure how to finish it. So then it seems like it does this complete 180 towards the end. It's like, how do we resolve this last 30 minutes?
The rough edges.
Don't listen to him, listeners. This is great. The ending is
well,
great.
Then why even have us on? Just do your own podcast.
No, he needs us on to be wrong where he is right.
That's true.
Because that's what matters.
No, I love you guys. I'm so glad you're here.
On his computer over and over again, and we can't see it.
Well, with that,
what a bunch of knobs.
With that, hit me up on the Twitters or the Instas if you want to pick the brain of the great Popcorn Priest at Popcorn Priest. If you've enjoyed this or any of our previous episodes, please subscribe so you can get notifications on our newest episodes. I love movies and would love it if you'd share the love. Share this with the movie lover in your life. Another way to support the show is by throwing a few shekels at the priest. Visit patreon.com/popcorn priest and see what extra perks you can enjoy. And if you don't want to donate, go ahead and give us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Much appreciated. As always, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, my listeners.
And thanks to my guests, Brain Rapperines and Noble Gas Tribe. Always a pleasure. Join us next week for another review and breakdown on Should You Watch This. See you guys next week. And remember, when you watch movies, you can pop off, pop in, or pop out.
Always remember to bring
But always bring the popcorn. We'll see you guys next week.
When did you come up with that?
I like it.
Thanks for crapping on my last title. I really appreciate it. See you guys next week.